Are we here? Excellent. Okay. Hello, everyone. Sorry. We're, as you can see, there is two of us this evening. We've got Ganga on the WhatsApp, and I'm like, "Where are you? Where are you?" And she's saying, "Yes, of course, she's gonna join us." So, of course, we've got Dianne here. Ganga will be joining us soon. I've got her on the WhatsApp right now. I'm just saying we're live. Live TV, guys. We're live. So hopefully she should be dropping in, and let's get stuck in, everyone. So first of all, what I want to say, we'll see when Ganga joins us. Dianne, wow, I want to share some celestial news with everyone, the celestial weather. But look how much has happened in the week from the last HoDiGa to this one now. I mean, these are breathtaking times. Wouldn't you agree? What are some of your thoughts before I go into some details of what I see as manifestations of the certain celestial activity? What's your opinion on just what's been happening of late in the world?
Oh my goodness. I mean, first of all, just personally, I feel like the energy is so chaotic because I feel like even in my life, it's a bit chaotic. So, I think what we're seeing with Ukraine has been, I would say, predictable. Unfortunately, I think we kind of did see what was happening. But I also think, too, in the U.S., we're seeing like a rise in violence.
Yeah.
So there's that energy going on, with mass shootings and that sort of thing. A lot of violent crimes, and we're seeing some extreme weather.
Wow.
Extreme. I mean, some places are getting hit by tornadoes again and again. I mean, we were hit. Oh yeah. I mean, they're getting pounded. Places that normally didn't really get that much, for tornadoes. Here in New England, we had like a real rainstorm. I mean, my house was lighting up with lightning. I couldn't even sleep. The cats couldn't sleep. So lots of energy, lots of just, I guess, dynamic energy. I think even for me personally, though, like I feel like things are kind of hectic and chaotic, and I'm really busy, and so I think it's just sort of spilling over into like the weather in different parts of the world, and the violence situation, and yeah, it's a dynamic time, I think.
Yeah, extremely dynamic. Well, I hope I can give you so Ganga's saying, "Oh my, be right there." So look, Ganga's going to be getting herself ready. I'm sure there's some kind of installation going on with the hair. Here we are. We see here. Let's just see. I think she's just joined the stream.
Oh my God, I apologize. I don't know why I was thinking it's Friday. Oh my God.
Hello, Ganga. Thanks for joining us. I was saying to everyone, she's probably putting in some installation in the hair, but maybe it's not time.
No, I was thinking it's Friday and then it's tomorrow, and it's so you said we're on live, and I'm going, oh my God, it's Saturday.
Well, not to worry. We would. It's great to have you here, Dianne and I was just asking Dianne how she, before I go into the astrological weather, and of course welcome everyone who's joining us on the live stream, I'll pose the same question to you. How have you, Lady G, felt about what has been happening in the world just in that brief amount of time between shows? I mean, we're only talking a week, and look what's happened. So how have things been for you? Dianne has been feeling that personally and in the weather as well. What are your thoughts on that, Lady G?
Well, I mean, I've been feeling fine, and I just started a new thing that I'm doing, which is connecting with ones that are passed on the other side. I did readings today with Richard Burton, Elizabeth Taylor, and who was the other one? I did one more too. Oh, Robin Williams.
Oh,
wow. Wow, another string to your bow. Oh, that's incredible. So what I'll do is let's talk, because I think it's just better just for us to kind of do this up. We've got some great questions, by the way. So get ready, ladies. We've got some really very interesting questions. So let me just give a little background in terms of the astrological weather. So what we were talking about last week, and do you remember there was this big build up? And as you know, there were some astrologers, not too many, but there were a few that were getting quite apocalyptic. Do you remember there was all going to be nuclear war and Armageddon and this, that, and the other. And you will remember, and there've been some astrologers that have also been responsible as well. But do you remember when I was saying what will happen is some things will come to an end? Do you remember I said it would be because we had Saturn is very strong and we had Mars exalted. Mars is war, conflict. So yes, the horrible side of Mars would express itself, but also the side of wanting to do the right thing would also be expressing itself. And what have we seen happen? We've seen the horrors of what certain elements of the Russian army have done in Ukraine. I mean, obviously, we're not going to go into the detail here. We all know. And it's just been absolutely horrific, just horrific, barbaric. But isn't it true, though? Something came to an end, which is that they gave up on Kiev. Do you remember I said something will happen? There'll be this thing where something will come to an end. So they've given up on Kiev and they said they're now redoubling their efforts down in the south or what have you. But I think really this is the beginning of the end because they have lost so many troops. Also as well, Saturn is government and Mars exalted is doing the right thing. The sanctions have increased. Russia's just been kicked off the UN Security Council. Of course, they had to be kicked off of that. That took them a very long time. Europe has now moved in terms of wanting to actively support Zelensky. And I thought I'd just quickly run off as quick as I can some of the events, which I've highlighted here in yellow, of that have happened. So let's just quickly just do a quick bit of weather. So update. Do you remember on last week I got a card for the Taliban? Do you remember? And I got the Magician. And I said, Taliban are going to need to make some kind of changes, or Afghanistan's going to have to make some kind of changes. Well, on the 3rd of April, so this conjunction between Mars and Saturn became exact between the 4th and the 5th of April. So you got to give days either side. So on the 3rd, the Taliban banned opium production. Yeah, because they're trying to change their image because they're always associated with what? Drugs and opium and all that kind of stuff. Whether or not it will work, we will have to see. Von der Leyen, the lady who is the chief, the head of leading the Europe and stuff like that, she went to visit Zelensky. And made promises that they could potentially become part of Europe. They say it's a bit vague, but still very significant. Imran Khan in Pakistan, he dissolved his government, something coming to an end so that they could hold national elections because they tried to get rid of him. The Russian parliament also dissolved itself. And this all happened on the 3rd. So they all technically resigned, something coming to an end, so Putin can make some kind of structural changes. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, there's that. Biden wants to bring in new gun laws, something coming to an end. Like you were just saying, Dianne, just before you arrived, Lady G. Dianne was talking about the violence. Can you guys give me a little bit more insight on what is going on with the violence in America as I do a few readouts? Because I think this is getting really extreme. But what are your views? Because you are Americans.
Well, I mean, we had another mass shooting in Sacramento. And it was, they're finding out it was gang related. It was multiple shooters, which makes it a little bit different than, like that sole gunman. But I mean, I think 6 people died and 18 were wounded, and they range from like 21 to I think 57. Just really awful. I mean, just out in the streets. It was just out in the streets. It was just in between venues.
And were you not saying, was it you that was saying, Dianne? I'm sure maybe some other YouTubers have mentioned it as well. Was this the 100 and something mass shooting? Since
120th.
when? Wow.
Since January. January.
Since January 2022.
Yes.
Wow.
This is a problem. This is a problem.
Wow.
They don't all make the news. We don't talk about all of them.
Because they're so common.
I'm not sure how they pick and choose, but this one they decided to talk about, so that's why we're talking about it. But there's so many that we don't talk about. I mean, it literally happens like almost every day.
Wow. It's an epidemic, isn't it? Do you remember this used to be a relatively rare thing? And to have 120 so far, and that was when you would have actually mentioned it on your show, there's probably been more since. This is extraordinary, isn't it? This absolutely extraordinary thing. So that would be good, of course, for Biden to try and introduce. There has to be something kind of reasonable put in place there. Just to extend on that as well, things coming in. France wants to stop imports of oil from coal and oil from Russia. So another sanction. What's it called? Now I don't know that much about these guys, but there's this group called the Legion of Russia, apparently, and these, those Russian soldiers that were captured. Well, once they were being released, they've joined a legion, which is to essentially free Russia from Putin. So these are Russian soldiers
right.
created a legion in order to, so they're anti-Putin, not anti-Russia, they're anti-Putin. Isn't it interesting as well? I said, with Mars exalted, soldiers are going to try and do the right thing as well. So do you see, amongst the atrocities and the horribleness, there's positive stuff. And of course, Russia stripped of UN status. And of course, Katanji, is it Katanji? Mm-hmm. The new, she's going to be confirmed, isn't she? So that's positive news. Katanji Brown Jackson, isn't it? That's it. So that's positive. Okay.
Yeah, they just burned Putin in effigy in one place too.
Yeah. Yeah, extraordinary. So we really are seeing some interesting things happen. Okay, so before we officially start, let's see who's with us. So thank you guys for joining us. I just thought we had to get a little bit of that astrological weather out the way, but not only that, just talk about the times. What extraordinary times. We're still in Kala Sarpa Yoga. I think it ends around about the middle of April, and then hopefully things should calm down. So Time Serpent Yoga, everyone, where everything goes cray-cray because the planets are all on one side of the nodes of the moon. We've got JH, we've got D. Fortier, we've got Marcel Parent, Sharon Donnelly, Jani King, Suzanne Chakan, Bluebird, and there's many of you here. Okay. Action-packed show, everyone. But we've got time. We're going to try and tackle about 6 questions. As usual, the ladies don't know what I'm going to ask them today, but all the questions are very juicy, and I've sort of like numbered them out. Some are from previous non-reads, which I've put in, and some are new. So first one, are we ready, ladies?
Yes.
As I'm saying that to you, let me just get my deck ready. So this is coming from, question number 1 is coming from Jasmine Clark. And here we are. So will January 6th Commission hearings reveal earth-shattering information about 45 and his GOP cohorts? And will it change lots of minds, in the midterms? That's basically how she's contextualizing this. While we're shuffling, ladies, what are your thoughts on January 6th in general? Because sometimes it's just better to hear from you guys.
It's going to be interesting. Not going fast enough, but I think it's going to be thorough.
Yeah, I think it's going to, a lot of stuff is going to be revealed, and I think it's going to be making changes with people's minds, with, the MAGA. Some of the MAGA crowd when everything comes out.
What I find fascinating is that A, people are still walking around free, and B, over 7 hours of official recorded messages, whatever, have vanished. And it doesn't seem to be the Tower moment that it should be. I mean, that's my sixpence.
Not yet. Not yet. But I assure you it's coming. So.
Oh, look at that.
Underneath mine too.
Oh my
Too.
goodness.
Yeah, it's coming for your tower.
How funny.
So, I get one of my cards for the US, and I think it's just a sign that, democracy is going to persevere, it will prevail. The obstacle was all those hidden agendas and secret motives, those things done in the dark that we didn't even know about, that they were plotting and planning, and there's more to be revealed. I think there's going to be this Tower moment where everything falls apart for these people. However, we learn a lot. So from that Tower moment, it's earth-shattering for them. I mean, I think we're a little hard to shock nowadays. I'm not sure. It would take a lot to shock me at this point. But after that Tower moment, we are going to be learning more. And then the wheels of karma start spinning for these people, and they start to come into their destiny and fate. So.
Wow. Very interesting. Lady G, what do you have for us?
Well, I got a lot of the same things as she got. What's underneath of it all, which is the Tower moment. And they were trying to hold on to power by literally putting an end to our Constitution, to our democracy. So in the center of it, we have, she who does not play is coming forward, slice and dice, which they are extremely worried about now because it's being revealed who was working on this behind the scenes. So going forward to take a hit, it is going to come to an end, and we'll see the false knight, all the false things they were bringing forward just to stay in power and keep their monetary things going.
Wow. Fascinating. And I've just got a great little update here. So a little correction. I think I misspoke earlier. So Painting Cat says Russia was kicked off the Painting Cat. Russia was kicked off the Human Rights Council. This is true. Not the UN Security Council, but we need them kicked off the Security Council because they have a vote. And that's not good at all. So thanks for dropping in that clarification there, Painting Cat. And you're absolutely right. Not only in my opinion, I think most of us collectively would believe by this stage, unless that person really has a very skewed sense of any kind of morality, would be that Russia should be really kicked off all potential governing bodies of security, influence, power, because they are literally, obviously not every single Russian soldier, but it is state-sanctioned war crimes now. And I think everyone is really referring to Putin as a war criminal because he is. We won't go into the details, but they are extraordinarily gory and very shocking in this day and age. But anyway, back to the Jan 6, the cards that I've got. So to symbolize it, so here we are. Look, we've got the happy family. We've got the happy family. We've got joy. I mean, this is a positive card of emotions and stuff like that. So in a way, I would argue that this card is encapsulating some of the hopes, I think, some of the hopes and dreams that we have for what would be disclosed. I'm sure everyone will be very happy to see these people brought to justice. But isn't it interesting? We were talking about things taking a slow time.
Right.
Here we are. Knight of Pentacles in the obstacle position with all four hooves on the ground. Yeah.
Yep.
So as you were both echoing, it's taking such a long time. The world is watching. Quite literally, the world is watching. And as we know, this is beginnings and endings and beginnings. So in a way, I think this is kind of reflecting quite what you were also saying, Diana and Lady G, which is that they're being slow and thorough. This is the Knight of Pentacles is also the diligent, hardworking knight as well, when it's the right way up, isn't it? Yeah. Crossing the T's, dotting the I's. they're looking to see the impact that it will make.
Mhm.
And here, because we know that the Three of Wands is about what? One ship coming in. And in a way, it's almost like the January 6th committee is almost playing a calibrated waiting game, because I think it's emerged that Kushner and Ivanka Trump have given information to the committee, which by default would then weaken the arguments of those that are seeking executive immunity.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, if Ivanka was one of the chief people, advisors in government, and she's saying, well, she's not trying to invoke that, do you see, by default, it sort of weakens the other positions. And we see here the outcome, you know, here we are, pages, sword of truth. So this, again, pages are about what? Messages. This could be around legal matters. So what I hope is that the Jan 6th Commission, I think they need to just turn this into prime time, a popcorn event. Wouldn't you agree? Where
I'll vote for that. Did you hear the thing with Don Jr. was sending ways to overturn it to Mark Meadows?
Oh my goodness.
Oh boy.
I want popcorn for that one, for that big reveal.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think you've heard me say it before, and it's a very unflattering thing that I said about politics. But you know, they say politics is showbiz for ugly people. I don't know if you've heard. I mean, it's a bit harsh. However, politics is theatre. And I think the Jan 6th Commission really have to take the opportunity to get everyone, mum and pop, all around the table and give us the equivalent of the mid-show in the Super Bowl. You know, in the Super Bowl, and you have, like, you know, Beyonce coming down with a chandelier or something like that. The halftime. It needs to be the political equivalent of that. Do you know what I mean? Where they just come out with guns blazing and reveal all. But anyway, that's just my opinion. I'll do a few more shout outs and then we'll move on to the next one. So let's see here. We have Shivani Dumas. We have got Teresa Balthazar, Sharon Donnelly. Let's see here. Oh, we've got here Light Vocation is saying a hello to us. Thank you. Let's see if that's going to click up. It's just taking it a little bit slow. Who else do we have? Lily Adorno, Shad Bakshish, and many more. So thank you, guys. Let me just click on something and then click off. Oh, all these states are loosening gun laws. Very interesting. Okay, ladies, are you ready for the next question? Not good. Yeah, not good. The gun lobby, as we know, is very powerful, and there's a lot of that involved. Would you like the next question?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, perfect. All right, let's see. So, question. What have I put this question on to? This one's coming from Mark McKenzie.
Mark.
So we all know Mark. Thank you for your question, and it's actually a UN-related question. It's quite a long one, so I'm just going to get up on the on my phone. Sorry, I was supposed to set this up earlier, but I just got a little bit busy. Let's see here. Let me just go to the community tab, and let's find Mark's question, which is here. Oh, some people have just, here we are. So I'm going to do read more. So this is coming from Mark. So I'm very interested in all of your thoughts where the UN is headed as an institution. There's been a long history of growing attempts at improving world governance, starting with the Interparliamentary Union, 1889. So Mark has done his historical research here. Thank you, Mark. This proved inadequate with World War I and was superseded by the League of Nations in 1920. That body, in turn, utterly failed in preventing World War II and was replaced by a current United Nations, 1945. While it has somewhat worked for 76 years, it's clearly failing, made strikingly visible with the Ukrainian situation. Indeed, Volodymyr Zelensky just this past week called out the king with no clothes saying the UN is a failure directly to the UN. I actually saw that on TV, and he said, look, basically get in gear or dissolve. Wow. So my question has two parts. Will the UN improve in the near term, and will the UN ultimately be replaced? So let's just tackle that as a two-hander. We could do, or we could, let's see. No, in fact, shall we see if the UN will improve? Let's tackle it.
Could we do the second part as a one-card draw?
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking.
That would be great.
Perfect. We'll tackle it that way. Great suggestion, Lady G. UN Security Council, will it improve? Will the UN Security Council improve? All right. Who's ready to go?
I can go.
Perfect.
Cards are interesting, but optimistic. You know, we start off with the card of drastic change, the Knight of Wands. So that makes me feel good that hopefully that they're going to undergo some change, but it's not without some strife. There is stress, worry, and anxiety. This is not going to be an easy change. But it's like the sun's going to come out. They're going to have this new beginning. I think this could be an enlightening period for them, where maybe they're starting to see the forest for the trees. I think they're having their strength and courage and patience all being tested right now. But then they get a card to me that is a card of like balance, having a good foundation, being pretty solid. So I would say, I mean, my cards are optimistic that yes, they will improve. There is change coming. And they do get some major arcana cards too. So, but not much that really indicates speed, except for maybe the first card. So is it going to happen in a timely fashion is the question.
Yeah, I guess with the nature of these things, they do tend to move quite slowly. And we do have a DeSantis question coming up. So Surf's mom saying DeSantis wants to ease gun laws and allow open carry. Anyway, Lady G, what do you have?
Feeling shootout in the Old West. Why am I getting Tombstone?
Right? Yeehaw.
Oh my God. Yeah, me too. Yeah. Anyway, underneath of it all, I see the light being shed and things trying to move forward, but we got temperance kind of cooling, not going so quick, working on it. That's what's underneath of it. In the center, we have them talking. And there are some that want to go up and celebrate, but there are some that are just trying to get away with something. They're, going into it, tied up, being mentally some tied up. We have some of the false night stuff coming forward, actions being taken, and, spies in the camp and more talks about, going into the mental realm of talks and stuff. So it doesn't look like it's going to happen quickly.
Yeah.
It looks like they're going to have some sort of, it feels like some sort of a battle coming up with it. Something coming out that's not, that's not going to look favorable.
Could it be perhaps, in a way, a kind of perhaps an internal struggle with what Zelensky said, essentially questioning the UN's it's even as a concept to exist, because he's really laid the gauntlet down. He's on the warpath, as we know, through no fault of his own. He's having to deal with it. We know he's really stepped into that king archetype, and he's speaking from a place of raw experience. And when I heard him say, you need to really look at yourselves, either you're going to act or you dissolve, I'm sure that would have really put a cat amongst the pigeon, wouldn't it?
I'm feeling like it's some sort of underneath dark politics going on, you know, kind of that. It's feeling like almost like tar, like, you know, something that's going to come out that's underneath of it that's not real pure.
Well, what I've got, and it's so interesting because you know, it shows the cards are listening. So I get the 10 of Pentacles, which is for what?
Right.
Huge organizations, yeah?
Yeah.
Doesn't really get any bigger than the UN, does it?
No.
And as we know, this is one of the few cards. So actually, I think it is the only card that has 3 generations on one card. So we're talking about, of course, legacies, as Mark was indicating in his questions, showing those timelines. I wasn't even aware that we'd actually had something in the 1800s that was kind of trying to achieve this same purpose. So the 10 of Pentacles is all about what? Legacies, inheritance, tried and true tested institutions. So perfect card to symbolize the UN. But to kind of echo with what Ganga was saying, look what's turned up in the obstacle position.
Yeah.
So there is this element here. So the 2 of Pentacles, there is this element of maybe there are these kind of covert agreements and alliances that we're not aware of because it's come in the obstacle position in regards to this institution. So we know there must, obviously, this could also include potentially dark money as well. We don't want to throw too many aspersions, but what's the likelihood that perhaps a bit of Russian money may not be involved in the UN? I find that highly unlikely. Yeah. However, positive card though, there is this element of what? Victory, coming forward, marching forward, making some progress. And the next card I get is what many get for what? Biden. Yeah. This could be the Biden card. So could it be, in light of what's happening with Volodymyr Zelensky, that, you know, as we know, Biden is a very impassioned man. He's very passionate. He doesn't always stick to the script, as we know. And he said, but you know what? I actually quite like that about him. I think that is actually one of his great strengths, is that he does genuinely feel. And I think this is why, in many ways, for many other people who read as well, this has been almost universally accepted as Biden when it turns up in a political question. Right. But look at the outcome. We get the sword of truth. So could it be, as Ganga was suggesting, could there be some truth that comes out around these partnerships, which could force the institution to change? Perhaps. So for me, I feel like in some ways our cards were quite mixed. They weren't talking about speed. They're talking about maybe lots of negotiations, lots of talks. And we'll just have to see what the outcome will be. But maybe Biden has to get involved to kind of light a bit of a fire under the you-know-what for the UN. Perhaps. Okay. Let's do a few more readouts. So we've got Surf Mom, Suzanne Shakan. I think I said this already, actually. Audrey Campbell. What's Audrey saying? So Audrey is saying we need federal gun laws, and they need to have more power than state laws.
Right.
So red states can't just change the laws like they're doing to take away people's rights.
Yeah.
Fantastic point, Audrey. Thanks so much for that.
Yep.
And I'm sure you ladies, you echo that as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Exactly. There needs to be, from the outside looking in, obviously I'm from the UK. And for the most part, we don't have guns here.
Right.
We don't. So the idea of a mass shooting with a semi-automatic weapon, which you can get from Walmart. I don't know if they still sell them at Walmart. But this as a concept in Britain is virtually impossible. I'm not saying it's completely impossible. Virtually impossible. It just doesn't happen. We've had situations where terrorists has tried to stab multiple people, but there's only so far you can get with a knife before the police take you down. Do you know what I mean? So I'll just add that 6 pence worth. All right. Are we ready for the question number 3? Here we are. This is a bit of a royal question.
No,
so
we have the second part.
Wait. Sorry, we need to do the one called Paul. Thank you. All right, sorry. One card pull.
Hold back.
Which is will the UN still be around? That's it. Will the UN still be around?
There you go.
Thank you.
Just keeping you honest over there.
Of course. Sometimes I'm a bit like the chariot card. Once I'm going, that's it. I'm just like, no. And someone gave a donation as well. So Surf Mom, thank you so much for your donation. All right. One card pull. Will the UN stick around?
I mean, I'm going to say yes. I get the card of community support, them actually pulling together. I think they have all that darkness to go through for sure, but ultimately, I think for them, there is some sort of light at the end of the tunnel where they do pull together.
Yeah, I'm getting the same thing. More stability and higher, going to maybe some higher ground eventually.
And I get the card, which is moving to smoother waters. So it's a choppy time. Choppy time now. They've had a bit of stick from Zelensky, but it looks like that they might move to smoother waters. So I think the change will come. It may just take a little while, but that's quite positive, isn't it? That's quite positive. That. Oh, I'm quite pleased with that. And thank you for reminding me to get back to the second part. Oops. Let me just do a double tick on that one there. So are we ready for question number 3?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay, now this is a royal question. This one came in last week, but it's always interesting, isn't it, to read on the royals and see what they're doing. And thank you, Dr. Liz, for your donation. Thank you so much. That's so kind. So this one is maybe quite a simple one. So what we've got here, where am I? Question number 3. So this came in from Liz L. So it says, seems Prince Andrew is embroiled in a new scandal. So we know Prince Andrew had to pay someone off. Yeah. And it seems like he's involved in another one, which is maybe to do with money for passports. And Charles, something similar. Yeah. Charles was accused of peerage and all this stuff for money and stuff. So they've just asked what's going on. So let's just do a pull on that. What's going on with Prince Andrew and Prince Charles, to get a little royal, a bit of British in there. And we've just been joined by, we're at 760 at the moment. So thank you guys for joining us. We really appreciate that. And while you're shuffling, I'll put up here. So Light Vacation is saying, lots of hearts there. My internet seems to be a bit slower on this side. Text stuff. Where's Registrar of Finance? Finance subjugation, Mongols, Communist Party, Putin. While you're shuffling, so Arn747 said, why is history one of such struggles after another? Not that I'm an expert on Russian history, but they have had a very, very tumultuous history in general. And I've always felt that the old history of a nation is like part of its DNA and it becomes part of its blueprint. And Russia was, with the Mongol invasion, it was like under suppression for like nearly 900 years or something ridiculous like that. Correct me if I'm wrong, if people got more information. And I feel that is one of the foundations where there's always this appeal of the strong man, so to speak. But that's my little 6 pence on there. So what do you have then on Prince Andrew and Prince Charles? Oh, is it saucy?
Wow. For me, this is like a really cold read.
Which is sometimes the best.
Because I knew nothing about this. So they were accepting some money. Clearly, this is becoming problematic. There must be some kind of paper trail that they can go back and say, okay, they took money for this, they took money for that. Their obstacle is, they want to go to smoother water, but they can't. They're not getting out of this. I mean, then look at the next 2 cards. They're going to have a tower moment, which involves justice, the legal system.
Wow.
So I'm leaning a little bit more that this is Prince Andrew more, I think, that I'm picking up on. I could be wrong, but I think I'm getting more of Andrew than Charles. Because I sort of have a feeling like with Charles, and I'm not even sure why I feel this, like he's a bit untouchable. I sort of
He's next in
feel
line,
like,
isn't he?
yeah, I think it would be hard to nail him, but Andrew, I think, is in for a world of trouble.
Again,
wow. Lady G, what do you have for us?
Underneath of it, I think a part of it, this emotional, the things coming up, with his first trial thing, and it's going to cost him a lot of money. So he's, let's change favors here. I can bring in some cash. That's what he's working on, trying to bring in the cash, but the wheel is catching up with him. Okay. So in the middle of it, we have him, emotional time. Above it, I think it's when you wish upon a star, and the actions that are coming in reference to his extracurricular activities, shall we say. Judgment is coming down, and it's to the point where he's going to have to sing for his supper. Okay. Yeah. Trying to get through the choppy waters and, trying to bring people on board that are going to be supportive of him, but it's not going to bode well.
Wow. Yeah. I've got some interesting cards. Out of 5 cards, I've got 2 major arcana. And it, for me, in a way, it might be speaking of 2 different fates as well. So, of course, we're looking at it from a Charles and Andrew point of view. So I'll kind of see, in a way, how I feel the cards mean for both men. So the situation, here we are, we've got the 8 of Wands. So things moving quickly, they've been having some difficult headlines of late. This is things speeding up. But also as well, I mean, there is the obvious connotations as well with business, with messages, emails, stuff like that coming in. But this can also feel like all the sticks are hitting your head.
Right.
Yeah.
Literally, it's like people throwing javelins out of the air. Look at the obstacle position, maybe having to walk away from something. As we know, Prince Andrew certainly quite literally has had to walk away from public roles because, because of the scandals and different stuff. Why? Because the spotlight has been upon him and Charles. But this is also as well, this would suggest, I would say, particularly with Charles and probably Prince Andrew as well. And behind the scenes, they're probably both trying to rejuvenate, aren't they? Because the star card is very much about a card of rejuvenation, wanting to kind of recover and start afresh, with optimism. The next card I get is the Empress. So again, this is about creativity, fecundity, wealth, etc. But for me, could this be the Queen?
Yeah.
She is a mother.
She is a mother, is the mother archetype. And, of course, she is the lady of abundance. And many a time, Prince Andrew is probably hidden here under the skirts. Under the skirts of his mother. However, I think if that is the Queen, I think she's feeling quite upset about everything that's happening. I think, what is it? She's 96 now or something like that. And to still be dealing with these sort of seedy sort of embroilments of her children, I'm sure, is kind of getting her down. So I think both men are trying to rejuvenate in some way, to repair their public images, but I think it's taking a heavy toll on the Queen. And of course, it would. Thank you too as well to a new donation that's just come in. Thank you. You guys have been wonderful tonight. Joanne Leek, thank you so much for your donation. Who else do we have? We've got more people joining us as we speak. Sally Buckley, Carol Beckstrom. Oh, here, what's she saying here? Carol saying, DeJoy on his way out just got governors through the Senate. What do you think? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Well, we could do a 1-card pull on that at some point. DeJoy. Shall we do a 1-card pull on DeJoy?
Sure.
Yeah, I don't think he's doing so well.
Yeah, on his way. Just got the new governor through the Senate. What do you think? All right, let's just do one card pull because we love the one card pulls, don't we?
Yes, we
And we need to do a bit of Shakespeare Says as well for the next person coming up. So stay tuned, folks. Okay, DeJoy. Gosh, the time's going so quickly. Let's go DeJoy.
I think this is how DeJoy's been operating. You know, in the dark of night, doing things undercover, doing things that are seedy and shady, and you know, try to create illusions and that sort of thing. But I don't think it's working out for him. Not anymore.
No.
Not with 45 gone.
No.
Right, okay.
Hung up. Okay, he's going to be hung out to dry eventually.
And look what I've got. Page of Swords. More information coming out.
Yeah.
So sometimes referred to as the spy in the camp and stuff like that. But really, we can say this will be media reports, leaks, stuff coming out about him, which is probably not going to be favorable. This could even be a bit gossip and kind of juicy stuff kind of coming out. So there we Oh, and actually, if I look at the bottom of the deck, this is probably DeJoy here trying to hold on as well in some shape or form. So not looking great for him.
Yeah, misnomer of a name, huh? DeJoy. He is
right.
I know.
Not right now.
Indeed. So we've got about 15 minutes left. Can you believe the time has gone so quickly?
No.
Let's do an international one because this one came up, and as you know, I love to do a bit of international, and so this is coming from Bernie Nicole, and I just thought it was an important question for us to address because I have a feeling this is going to be in the news cycle. Not even have a feeling, it will be in the news cycle in the next few weeks. So this is coming from Bernie Nicole. Will Marie Le Pen, so we understand, do you know, familiar with Marie Le Pen in France? Okay, so French elections are happening in a matter of weeks. And this is why I love these cold reads, guys, because the ladies just have to just use their talents. Yeah. They don't know what I'm going to throw at them. But it's always a great read. So Marie Le Pen, so she is the far-right candidate. So if you think of some of the more extreme side of the GOP, she'll be getting close, maybe not quite as cray-cray, but into that spectrum. She's running up against Macron, who, of course, wants to be re-elected. So Bernie and Nicole, so will Marie Le Pen, and this is a female, who's closing in on Macron, so she's doing well in the ratings. Will she cause more chaos than Trumpy if that is possible? Let's do a little read on Marie Le Pen.
The poor French people, they don't deserve that.
She's been actually, to just put in context, because many of the audience as well will not be familiar with this person, and I'm not an expert on her, but she's been in French politics for a long time. Her father was very significant in French politics, always on the right. She has had, I think, a couple, this could be the third attempt at trying to win elections, and she's not succeeded so far, but she's always been a force, and they say she's doing even better this time. Oh, I've got a card jump out. Wow. Okay, I'll keep that.
So my cards aren't positive for her, so I'm questioning if she's going to win anything. She's in for a ruthless battle, but her energy makes me feel like she relishes that anyways, so that's not really a problem for her. I think she sort of enjoys it. But look what her obstacle is. Here he is. I mean, he's made his weekly appearance. There's things that she's trying to get away with, and I wonder if it's possible that she has some sort of Russian ties. You know, where she's far right, and you know, what kind of money are we dealing with here? What exactly is she trying to get away with? The truth will come out. So here's the sort of truth coming out. So there's things that we're going to learn about her, find out about her, that the French people are going to find out about her. A card of pulling back, retreating, withdrawing. The poverty card, the card of losing it all, and like the card of sorrow and grief and despair. So her cards are not positive. So I would say the energy right now is not favorable for her, even if she might be ahead in the polls. Maybe the French people will see the light in time, hopefully.
Okay. Well, when I was reading, it was on if she gets in, will she cause as much trouble? So underneath of it all, we have the hidden things. She's got an agenda and reevaluating things, but she is in for the long haul of stuff. So underneath of it, she would be trying to bring in some new things, and it's spy in the camp. What a surprise. Trying to put an end to stuff like the Uber right does, dealing the death blow. But underneath of it, kind of out in the cold. I think she would be like the Uber right here, charging forward, challenges, defending things. We've got the lover who she's in bed with, and it's not the good things. It's so yeah, she would be, if she got in, she would be as destructive as 45. And I think on that type of payroll, the anarchy thing, down with government, tear it down. And yeah.
Wow.
Not good.
Wow. Very interesting. So thanks for that. That's a really good point. If she were to win,
but it looking like Dianne's, let's hold to the thing that Dianne's is that she's not going to get in. But
yes,
got in.
I couldn't get her there. I couldn't get her to where she got in.
Yeah. And my cards are a bit mixed as well in terms of her fortunes. I mean, there's some powerful cards here. There are two major arcana, but they're not really standing out as big victory cards. However, we can see the ambition. So the card that I get in terms of symbolizing her, she wants to win. Yeah. She wants to win.
Yep.
I think, and viewers, if you guys know more, this could be her third attempt. I think this might be her third attempt. So could it be third time lucky? However, who's the obstacle? We have the Emperor, which we know is what, a patriarchy card, organization, this kind of strictness, but power, etc. But if we think, for me, this is obviously would be Macron, because he is the incumbent. He is male, and of course he is wanting to make sure that he's doing everything in his power to keep her out. So we'll have to see who is the stronger. But look at the card that comes next. We get the Fool here. So there is an element now. What I know of her, I mean, she seems like an intelligent woman. She's not. It's not that this kind of Looney Tunes kind of stuff that we see a lot in America. I mean, not to be unfair to people, but we see a lot of kind of a bit of cray, don't we, with the right in America. This it's not foolish in that sense. However, this is also showing, though, that she really is still seeing this as a leap of faith. What this says to me is that she cannot be 100% sure of her victory. I think there is an element where she is also relying on luck, because this, of course, is also as well the card of optimism, stepping out and hoping that someone will catch you. But look, money comes in. Money comes in. I think her leap of faith is being obviously financially supported in some kind of way, and this is obviously got a lot to do with what? Business. This card is very associated with business, just like what you were echoing, Lady G. But look, stinky fish comes in the outcome position. So what that says to me is, now we know that all pages are about messages, and of course the Page of Cups is about emotions, but this can be having news come up, but it may not necessarily be pleasant news. So it could be, does she get close, but then ultimately she gets a damp squib? Could it be that? We will have to see. But the victory card is in there. So what this says to me is, I think her chances are better than ever, but I think it's going to take some luck and a huge leap of faith, perhaps on the part of the electorate, actually, as well. It'll probably, will they go with the establishment, Macron, you know, that traditional patriarchy, or will the voters themselves take a leap of faith on Le Pen? We have to see. What do you, interesting, isn't it?
Cliffhanger.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for just doing it. I love those cold reads because all you can do is just respond, isn't it? To what's there. So let's see. We've got a few minutes left. So let's do a DeSantis. Yeah. This so this would have been question. Well, it doesn't matter which number. So here, will DeSantis lose the 2024 presidential bid because of a scandal? That's what someone asked. And I suppose we can just see that, take that read as a general read of his chances as well. Had to get DeSantis in there, who of course has been in the news for various different things. DeSantis. Oh yeah, has our little friend turned up again?
Oh Lord, hey, I'm just going to call it the GOP card. Gosh, okay. So I mean, I think he's disillusioned in general. I mean, right now he's fighting Disney, for heaven's sake. I mean, you know, Disney employs twice as many people as he won by. You know, he needs to think about this for a minute. He didn't win by some landslide, and Disney employs twice as many as he won by. So, you know, he's a bit disillusioned. He's in the dark. His obstacle is, because they're asking about scandal, here he is trying to get away with it. He got 5 of the 7 swords saying, don't catch me. But, you know, here's the thing. His cards become very legal very quickly. The truth comes out. Here's the sword of truth. You get the justice and the judgment card.
Wow.
So he could be embroiled in something for real. Something legal could be coming up that could actually really hinder him with his re-election.
Wow.
That is what I am getting.
Lady G, what do you have?
Well, underneath of it all, we have his, you know, wanting to go forward. What are his chances? We have being hung up because of his abuses of power that are happening, and something to do with monetary stuff. Okay, because what I'm getting in the center of this are hidden things going to come to light. Justice is above it. The foundation of, you know, some action that he's done that's going to come, that's going into it, having to walk away. Okay, and again, the challenge is about money, something that he's done concerning money. Then having to take the walk forward, some new energy is coming forward that's going to shed light on it. So somebody's going to step forward to shed light on it. He may be having something coming down that he'll be charged with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, could be something like that. Oh, I'm getting a bit of echo. Maybe that's just on my computer and someone's talking about the Mars energies and stuff like that. What I'll do, I forgot to say, at some point, at some point this week, I'll just check with timings and stuff like that, making sure that I'm not clashing with, you know, with the ladies. I want to make sure this all good.
No worries.
No problem. But at some point this week, I'm just going to do like an Astro update for everyone, because obviously we're getting lots of questions. We've been seeing how the energies have been working, and I think it's just an important point for us to kind of take stock of what's happened so far and then see what's potentially coming up for spring and summer, because it's, in terms of the astrological weather, it is intense. And we also have the eclipse seasons coming soon as well. Eclipses start at the end of the month, so that's also revelations as well, and Jupiter and Neptune conjunction. So I'll be swift with mine because we're almost up to time. So in regards to DeSantis, he is juggling, scheming, machinations, really trying to work out his position. Because, of course, he's put himself in a tizzy with Disney. And as Dianne said, I mean, what an enemy to pick. Like, really? The biggest employer in all of Florida? Come on. Pick your battles. So what's happened? Look, it's in the obstacle position. We got the Five of Wands. This, of course, has put a cat amongst the pigeons. It's caused a lot of tumult and up and down and round and unnecessary infighting. You know, you don't go up against Disney unless you've got some serious firepower. And even then, you're going to lose. You know, DeSantis will be for the birds at some point. He'll try and make what little impact he can on history. And Disney will continue. People are still going to be singing and watching Frozen 20, 30 years from now. And most of the political people of the time will be pretty much forgotten. Those will live on. So don't, leave Disney alone, basically. There's no point.
Agreed.
There's no point. Things are going to start moving quickly. So obviously he's had look, we can also interpret this. When I see this card, the word that comes to me is backlash. Backlash. The sticks have been thrown in his direction and everyone's like, oh, come on, what are you doing? Look, he's put himself in a tizzy. He's put himself in a difficult position. And what this says to me, as 2024 progresses, things could get more difficult for him because, look, we all know who wants to be number one on the show, and that is Duck Larange.
Yes.
And Duck Larange does not play fair, and he will throw absolutely everything at anyone to make sure that it's all about him, unless he's, taken out in some shape or form. So the outcome card for DeSantis is what? A slow moving card. So he's having this backlash, but this isn't someone that is, if it were the Knight of Wands, then we could be saying he's charging in the polls. He's surging ahead and going forward with passion. This is like, dum-de-dum. What shall I do? Let me just ponder here. So I think he's going to have to regroup after this because I think he put himself in a bind by distracting everyone and creating this battle with Disney. And it's that kind of thing where people go, huh? Even if they're a big fan, they'll be like, who? Why? Do you see? It raises more questions than it solves. But there we are. The hour has flashed by. We're just past. So thank you everyone for I know it went so quick. Thank you everyone for all of the donations and joining us this evening. We really appreciate it. Great questions. Actually we did quite a lot today. And I just want to thank everyone for being here. So Dianne, thank you for joining us. And of course, your party gets ever closer. Not too long now until the ball.
Just a few weeks.
Indeed, just a few weeks. And Lady G, thank you for joining us at short notice and still managing to look glamorous.
I was so embarrassed. I was like, oh my God. Talk about a senior moment.
Not to worry. Still looking fabulous. So thank you everyone for joining us. And we will see you next week. All right. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye.